Channel Voices is sponsored by Meter. With Meter, you can deliver enterprise networking as a service to your customers, delivering fast, secure, and scalable connectivity. And for you, Meter brings a predictable, high-margin, recurring revenue model that helps you grow your business. Thanks to Meter for sponsoring. Go to meter.com/channelvoices to apply now. That's meter.com/channelvoices to find out how to partner with Meter and accelerate your business. Happy belated New Year, Channel Bros. I hope 2026 is already treating you kindly and that your pipelines, partnerships, and coffee cups are all off to a strong start. Today, we're diving into a topic that fills spreadsheets, portal pages, and occasionally a few swear jars: marketing development funds and how to prove ROI in the channel. If you've ever stared at an MDF report and thought, did this thing actually do anything? This one's for you. Let's set the scene. MDF is supposed to be one of the most powerful tools in channel marketing. Vendors put budget in, partners run campaigns, pipeline grows, everyone is happy. But industry studies suggest that up to 60% of allocated MDF goes unused every quarter, which means lost pipeline, lost growth, and a lot of awkward budget conversations. On top of that, finance, CMOs, and boards are asking much sharper questions. Not just did we spend it, but what did we get back and how fast? So in the next few minutes, let's break MDF ROI into something more practical. First, what actually makes MDF so hard to measure? Second, what good looks like in terms of metrics and processes. And third, how to build an MDF motion where you can defend every dollar, euro with a clear line to pipeline and revenue. Part of the challenge is historical. For years, MDF was run on spreadsheets, email threads, and a lot of trust. Partners submitted a proposal, did some marketing, sent back a PDF as proof of performance, and everyone hoped it moved the needle. That model doesn't fly anymore. Without tight attribution, MDF looks like a cost center, not an investment. Computer Weekly's coverage of incentive programs calls out that MDF is now expected to sit alongside rebates and discounts as a measurable lever across the entire customer lifecycle, not just a one-off lead gen subsidy. The good news is that the industry is starting to modernize how MDF is structured. Analysts talk about a shift from discretionary, case-by-case handouts to more predictable, performance-based MDF models. You see vendors moving towards outcome-based approaches. Vendors have tested models where reimbursement happens only when agreed objectives, like a certain number of qualified leads, are met. That changes the conversation from did you run the activity to did the activity deliver the results we defined together? So what does proving MDF ROI actually mean in practice? At its core, it's about closing the loop from spend to leads to pipeline to revenue. A lot of the leading platforms and practitioners lay it out in 4 steps. First, define upfront what success looks like, how many leads, what kind of leads, what conversion rates you expect. Second, instrument the campaign so every lead generated is captured with the right campaign tags. Third, match those leads to deal registrations and opportunities in your PRM and CRM. And finally, report back on pipeline created and revenue won against the original MDF outlay. Here's a concrete example. A partner spent $5,000 of MDF, generated 100 leads, and matched 12 of those into deal registrations with $420,000 in pipeline. Two of those deals closed for $110,000 in revenue. That translated to a pipeline to investment ratio of 84:1 and a revenue ROI of 22:1. You should also set internal and external MDF targets, for example, 80 in pipeline and 20 in revenue per MDF dollar over 4 rolling quarters. That's the level of clarity boards and CFOs are increasingly expecting. For every dollar or euro invested, what pipeline and revenue did we generate over what time horizon? Of course, getting to that level of visibility means cleaning up the plumbing. One of the biggest pain points vendors cite is manual tracking and data chaos. Spreadsheets, disconnected systems, and proof of performance documents sitting in inboxes. The fix many leading programs are adopting is to run MDF through a channel automation or MDF management platform that's linked directly to CRM and deal registration. When every MDF request, approval, and claim lives in one system, and that system knows about leads, opportunities, and closed-won deals, you can finally see which partners, which activities, and which campaigns pull their weight. Another friction point is that even when budget is available, partners often say, "We have funds, but no time or capacity to execute." That's where enablement and program design tie directly into ROI. Some vendors are responding with more concierge-style support, providing ready-to-launch digital campaigns, event-in-a-box kits, or even agencies on a retainer that partners can tap into. This doesn't just increase MDF utilization, it also standardizes execution so it's easier to compare results across partners and markets. Structure also matters. Computer Weekly highlights how vendors like Dell blend earned MDF, accrued as a percentage of revenue, with proposal-based MDF for strategic campaigns. Tying both to lifecycle incentives such as new logo acquisition and refresh of the installed base. That hybrid structure helps align MDF to clear business outcomes instead of random one-off asks. Recent channel studies talk about smart stability for 2026, less random, one-time MDF bets, more structured, performance-based funding with predictable rules. So if you're listening and wondering how to tighten up your own MDF ROI story, here's a simple way to think about it. Before the campaign, define the hypothesis and targets. For example, we're investing $10,000 in digital campaigns with this partner, and we expect at least 10x pipeline and 3 to 5x revenue over the next 4 quarters. During the campaign, insist on consistent data coming into PRM, clear routing into CRM or a lead management tool, and regular check-ins on early signal metrics like open rates, form fills, and first meetings booked. After the campaign, match those leads to deal registrations and opportunities and run the math. MDF spent, pipeline created, revenue closed, and payback period. Over time, this lets you compare partners and tactics. Maybe webinars consistently generate high-quality pipeline, while generic paid social underperforms in your segment. Maybe one partner hits your 10x pipeline benchmark reliably, while another stalls at 2x. That's when MDF becomes genuinely strategic. Instead of spreading funds thinly across everyone and everything, you can reallocate towards partners, regions, and campaign types that prove they can convert MDF into measurable growth. And it's not just about cutting the bad spend. Sharing these insights back with partners, what worked, what didn't, how they compare to peers, turns MDF ROI into a coaching and trust-building tool. Partners who see transparent dashboards and clear benchmarks are more likely to lean in, co-plan, and treat MDF as a joint investment instead of a mysterious vendor slush fund. So to bring it home, proving MDF ROI in the channel means three things working together. First, a clear strategy that ties MDF to specific demand gen and lifecycle outcomes, not just spend the budget. Second, instrumentation, tools and processes that connect every dollar or euro to leads, pipeline, and revenue. And third, collaboration with partners so they have the playbooks, support, and feedback they need to execute well. When you can show that $1 of MDF drives $8, $10, $20 of pipeline and a solid stream of revenue, MDF stops being a line item to defend and starts looking like what it was always meant to be, a growth engine for your ecosystem. If you'd like to dive deeper, our partner, Channel Scaler, is hosting a live webinar on 27th of January on how channel teams are using AI to make MDF faster, simpler, and easier to run. Head over to channelscaler.com or click the link in the show notes to register. Thanks for listening to Channel Chewsday, and see you next week as we tackle another channel challenge together.